Hello students, welcome to today's lecture on nature of the state and its apparatus. This is chapter 4 of class 11, where we will see about the nature of the states and how the concept of state evolved. The main focus of today's lesson is Kautilya's Arthashastra. Now before we move on to Kautilya's Arthashastra, one thing that we should consider is that how the concept of state evolved. So first we see that it was during the Copper Bronze Age that the concept of state started evolving. As during the Copper Bronze Age, the weapons and tools which were used were very sharp, production increased, and due to increase in production, empires began to expand. Warfare also became more fierce, and the empires began to expand. As the empires began to expand, gradually the concept of state evolved, and the concept of law and order also came into the mind of the people. The people wanted security, law, and order, and out of these feeling and out of this want of law and order came the concept of state. In this context, we should mention that it was Hammurabi's code which was the first code of law in the world. We all have heard about Hammurabi of Babylonia, who has conducted the first code of law, and from these we see gradually the concept of state started evolving. So now the question arises, what is a state? If you are asked what is a state, what comes to your mind? By state, we mean a tract of land where individuals habitually resides. So state can be defined as something where individuals habitually resides in a particular tract of land. Now we see that there are certain characteristics of a state. That is, a state should have assemblage of people. That is, the state should have a population. Without a population, a state cannot be formed. In a tract of land, if 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people are living, we cannot call it a state. It has to have a population. So assemblage of people is an important feature of the state. The state should have a good number of population. Next we see fixed territory. A state should have a fixed territory, that is a fixed geographical border. To be considered as a state, a tract of land should have a fixed geographical border or a fixed territory. The next important feature of the state is government. Government is an important organ of the state which sees or maintains the law and order in the state and is the ruling machinery of the state. So we see that government is another important feature of the state machinery. Last but not the least is sovereignty. When we talk about sovereignty, we mean the supreme power. So the state which does not have a sovereignty cannot be termed as a state. Sovereignty means supreme power, that is, the state have the power to take decision for itself and it is not dependent on any other organ to take decision for itself. Sovereignty is one of the most important feature of the state. So now in this context, we can move on to Kautilya's Arthashastra. Arthashastra, which is written by Kautilya or Chanakya, is an important book to know about the state during the ancient Indian period. Kautilya, he was variously known as Chanakya. Vishnugupta was born during 320 BC, and it is not sure during which time he wrote his book Arthashastra. But we can see, there is an approximate date that from 2nd to 3rd century BC this book was composed, and it was a huge book consisting of 15 parts, which has 180 chapters, and there are 6,000 shlokas. So this book is a vast collection of books, and also we see that this gives us an idea about how a state can be a successful state. Now, according to Kautilya, there are several things that a state should follow. This Arthashastra of Kautilya deals with those things. So Arthashastra, well, first we should see the meaning of Arthashastra. There we'll see that Arthashastra deals, Artha here means the material well-being. So Kautilya believes that the king should look into the material well-being of the people to be a successful king as well as a successful state. So here the term artha does not means wealth or money. However, it means material well-being. It says that the material well-being of the people is important for the king so that the state becomes successful. Also, we see that the main idea of the Arthashastra is how to acquire land, because during the ancient time, it was the land which was one of the most important organ of economy. So the acquiring of land has been given importance in the Arthashastra. So what we see is Kautilya or Chanakya, he became the leader of Chandragupta Maurya, and he guided him as to how the empire or the state should be formed. And we have seen that Chandragupta Maurya was a very successful ruler, and he expanded his empire to a great extent. From that, we can say that Kautilya's Arthashastra can be considered as a book for establishing a successful state, and even nowadays it is followed in our country. So what we see is that the main idea of the Arthashastra is how to acquire land. Acquisition of land is very important. It is said in Arthashastra that war is important for the king. As soon as the king's coronation is done, the king should start or prepare himself for a war, because Arthashastra mainly deals with the art of warfare. Next, we will see that it is the Arthashastra which is based on two main theories. One is the Saptanga theory, another is the Mandala theory. Saptanga theory is the 7 organs of the state according to Kautilya. The Kautilya believes that state is an organism. So according to him, these organisms, the state can be run properly by the 7 organs or the Saptang. Saptang means 7 organs. What are the 7 organs of Kautilya's Arthashastra? First and foremost is king. So according to Kautilya, king is the supreme being of the state, and the king should be strong and powerful. He believes that king should be from the Kshatriya Varna. If he is not from the Kshatriya Varna, then also he can become a king, but he says that preferably king should be from the Kshatriya Varna. Also, it is said that the king should prepare himself for warfare from the time of his coronation, and king should try to establish himself as Chakravarti Samrat, that is the empire of the entire area. Also, we see that it is said that the king's ordinances or the king's order are the ultimate and the final law of the state. Whatever the king says, that everybody has to follow and everybody should follow. Now, we see that after the king, Kautilya has mentioned about the Amatyas. Amatyas are the ministers of the king. In this regard, we can see that Kautilya has said that the Amatyas should have knowledge about the Shastras. Without the knowledge of Shastras, Amatyas or the ministers cannot be appointed. And Kautilya also laid stress that king should be very careful while they are appointing the ministers or the Amatyas, because Amatyas are the person who gives advice to the king, and the king should follow the advice of the Amatyas. Kautilya says that like a vehicle cannot run on one wheel, a state government cannot run on one wheel. Similarly, king alone cannot run a state properly. It is the Amatyas with whose help king can run the state properly. So Amatyas are an important organ of the state. So Amatyas had been given the second position in his Saptanga theory. Third is Durga. Durga means the fort. Fort is an important thing for the defense of the king or the state. So Kautilya gives importance to the Durga or fort. Here he mentions that forts can be built in any areas like hills, in forest, in water areas. Forts should be made, and fort helps in offensive and defensive of the kingdom, of the state. So fort has been given importance in Kautilya's Arthashastra. The fourth anga of the Saptanga is Janapada. Janapada means territory. So the territory of the state is very important. A territory here means that where the common people lives and conduct their business. So these territory where the common people is living should be completely under the control of the king, and king should continuously try to expand his territory. If the territory is not expanding, then the state will gradually start to perish, and state will gradually destroy. So Kautilya says that it is very important for the king to keep on expanding his territory so that the kingdom can expand. If the kingdom can expand, the state will continue to exist. So Janapada has been termed as an important anga of the state. Next we see there is Bala. Bala means the strength, that is the army. Army has been given an importance in the Saptanga theory of Kautilya. Of course, we know that without army it is difficult to run a state. So armies holds an important place in states in ancient, medieval, or be it in modern period. Without army, we cannot imagine a state. So as Kautilya is giving stress in warfare, he believes that armies should be selected very carefully, and he also believes that the armies should be only from the Kshatriya Varna. We all have learned about the different Varna system, that is the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and the Shudras. And we know that the Kshatriyas are the warrior class. So Kautilya believes that the military of the state, that is the Bala, should be from the Kshatriya Varna, and the military should be strong enough, and they should be a support pillar, a pillar of support for the king, and this can help the state to progress. So Bala has been referred to as another anga of the of state. Next we see there is Kosha. Kosha means treasury. Kautilya has laid stress on the treasury also, because the economy of the state is very important, because ultimately everything is dependent, or all activities are dependent on the finance of the state. So treasury of the state is an important factor or important anga of the state. Kautilya says that the king should have complete control of the treasury, and he should have so much in store, so much in reserve, that in time of emergency the king can take quick decision. So finance or treasury, that is Kosha, has been given an important place in the matter of the state. Next we have Mitra. Mitra means ally, that is friend of the king. King should have friend, so that in time of warfare he can get support from his friend or the ally. So what we see is the Mitra has been given another place of importance in the Saptanga theory. So in this Saptanga theory, these are the 7 organs or the Sapt Angas which are important for ruling of the state. Another important theory that is mentioned in Kautilya's Arthashastra is the Mandala theory. The Mandala theory deals with Raj Dharma, Kshatriya Dharma, that is war. War has been given very much importance in Kautilya's Arthashastra, and he believes that as soon as the king's coronation starts, warfare should start. Actually, we can say that Arthashastra very much deals with the art of warfare. So he says that the king's neighbor is his enemy, and neighbor's neighbor is his friend. So like these, the king should consider acquiring more land. So which land the king should acquire? The king should conquer or acquire the immediate land next to him. That means the king's neighboring land. So neighbor becomes the enemy of the king. Like this, he proves his Mandala theory, where he says that warfare is an important tactic or technique of the king for expansion of territory and for the successful growth and development of the state. Without warfare, if the state does not expand, then the state will cease to exist, or the state may perish. So for economic development and for political development, Kautilya suggests that Mandala theory or Raj Dharma, Kshatriya Dharma, that is warfare, is an important part of the king. So these we see the basic ideas behind Kautilya's Arthashastra. Overall, what we see is that Kautilya is giving a despotic kind of a rule for the state, despotic patriarchal government form, where mainly the guilds and the corporates are getting more privilege than the other classes. So this is our concept of Arthashastra and in context of ancient Indian history. Thank you.